Hi, guys. My name is Tori, and this is the Horror Babe podcast. And so, we're going to start with our first horror movie, or at least what some people believe is the first horror movie. Um, I didn't want to do the podcast in like chronological order, like by year or by decade, because, well, I know me and I can get bored very quickly. But I at least did want to do the very first horror movie according to some of my research. Now, from what I was able to find, many believe that the first horror movie was The Execution of Mary Stuart, but then there's also some that believe that the first horror movie is The House of the Devil. But I'm going to stick with The Execution of Mary Stuart, so that's where we're going to start. So, The Execution of Mary Stuart was actually released August 28th in 1895. It's a silent film and it's actually only 18 seconds long. It was directed by Alfred Clark and produced by Thomas Edison. And it is starring Robert L. Thomas. Now, I didn't know much about Mary Stuart, so I did do some Googles. But according to what I found, Mary Stuart, she was the Queen of Scots, and she was executed February 8th, 1587 in England. So apparently, she was forced to abdicate the throne in favor of her son, James V of Scotland. She tried to take the throne back, didn't work out. She fled to England. Um, She was hoping that her cousin Elizabeth I of England would help her, but that did not work out. Mary ended up being imprisoned for the murder of her husband, Henry Stuart. And so she also ended up, getting in trouble for planning the assassination of her cousin, Elizabeth I. So that is where the movie comes in. So the movie, again, it's only 18 seconds long, silent film, black and white, very old, very grainy. You can actually find it if you Google it. It's on YouTube, and the Library of Congress also has it. But allegedly, this movie is the first movie to use trained actors and to use editing for the purposes of special effects. And that editing that they're talking about is the stop trick, which you can actually see the stop trick happening. But what the film depicts, you see a group of people in the background, and I don't know if they're like generals or guards or whatever, but you see Mary Stuart, in all of her garb, blindfolded, walking up to the execution block. And she kneels before the block and like lays her head down. And then the executioner comes up and he beheads her with one strike to the neck. The head kind of rolls off the block, and the executioner then picks up the head and holds it up for everyone to see. So that is the extent of the movie. Now, according to my research here, when Mary was actually executed, it took more than one strike of the axe for her head to be completely disengaged from her body. Apparently, the first strike hit the back of her head, and then the second strike is what actually severed her neck. And it was, yeah, a whole lot of hoopla. But it's funny because apparently Elizabeth I, who Mary was trying to assassinate, um, she tried to say that like her instructions were like to not execute Mary, I guess. But everyone's saying like, well, you didn't explicitly state that. So like that was kind of weird, but I mean, hey, if my cousin was trying to assassinate me, I'm just saying. But yeah, apparently that was the first movie. And I just think it's really interesting. Like, what would make them go, hey, let's make this execution a movie? Let's depict this. And let's try this stop trick and do this. And I don't know, it's just really fascinating what they were thinking back then. And I would love to know, like, just exactly how much time went into doing all of this. Like, things were different back then. I mean, this was 1895, but I mean, they pulled it off for the most part. Um, Scary, no. For the purposes of my spreadsheet in rating this quote unquote horror movie, I'm going to give it 3 stars only because, and I can't fault them. Again, it was 1895. The stop trick motion was not perfect, but you can totally tell like when it occurs. But also the fact that in the movie it is depicting that the head was disengaged with one strike when that is apparently not factual. But you know what? That's fine. But also, I mean, it's super short. There's not too much going on, but I mean, it was decent. But yeah, I'm thinking we're going to do what many consider the official first horror movie ever, The House of the Devil. We'll do that in the next episode. So yeah, let's get to it. Thanks for listening.